Hunter, call to order the meeting at 7 o'clock. We have no alternates, so we don't need to seat anybody. With that, the next item is the draft review. Rob asked to go first in his presentation. If you have anything prepared, Rob, or you just want to go over, you guys have it.
Carries on, right? Yeah.
Yep, carries on. Let me see if I can get fire department. Too many tabs in here, Rick.
Trying to tell you.
There is one at the end that you could go right down, you know. It has all the expenses on one sheet.
Which one's that?
It's all the way towards the end. It shows expense printout. Now you won't be able to fill it in, but you could ask questions off it.
To print? No.
Yeah, if you go there, they're all there.
Excellent. Then I gotta find which one, count.
It's like the third one down.
Nope.
You sure he's 5,400?
Sorry.
01-5400.
There we go. Got it. Sorry.
2 to 10.
Share screen. Okay. Fire department. Yeah, my things are in here.
If we blow that up.
See it all? So this doesn't have the pluses and minuses, but.
If you want, I mean, it's literally just the third tab on the bottom. If you hit that triangle in the bottom corner, it'll drag you all the way back to the beginning.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's the third one.
I think it is. It says five. It's either the third or fourth. Right
There we
there.
go. Okay,
And then you can blow that up.
yeah. And this gives us the percentages.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Rob, the big expense that looks like is the oil, a big expense that's just sort of standard
Utility.
utility.
Yeah.
Everything else.
It's a total increase, just shy of $2,000.
Right. Is there any, how many, fire personnel do you have now?
Well, mixed between interior guys at the end of this class. We'll have upwards of 25.
And then the total,
Between interior, exterior guys. I'd say we're around 50 members.
That's huge.
and so it's about half and half, right?
Yeah.
And as far as like equipment, obviously the truck got purchased or put the order in for last year.
You should be here at this time next year,
So it takes that long, huh?
720 days.
Yeah.
They have until not this summer, next summer to be done with it. Have it in town, delivered.
Okay, maintenance, nothing major going on at the building that needs to repair?
I mean, there's always repairs that can be done. They're not huge repairs, but you know, they're capital stuff, you know.
Rob, how many members made the abatement?
Ooh, I think there's a little more than 10,
What is that?
the tax abatement.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
Oh, you're saying for the hours served that they make it?
Yeah, well, we have, it's based on a point system. 100 points within, and then within that, there's certain requirements that have to get met.
That's what Bantam does too, right?
There's towns that have it set up similar, to that, not exact, but similar.
How many fire ponds are scheduled to be done this year?
It all depends on how our capital funding goes. That kind of dictates it,
I think we discussed that.
hopefully too.
We did discuss that.
Briefly, yeah.
15,000.
Yeah, so there was
So it
the
went up from 10.
the pond needs to be excavated, so that's not a fire department.
I think, maybe 2, maybe. It all depends.
Right.
It all depends. What there is for funding.
Okay.
So I had a couple on here, so you're talking 50 folks, fire department gear. And when you went with gear, you dropped. Actually, you're maintaining the same, so you're good with that. And EMS supplies, you actually dropped from 25 to
Because I couldn't see keeping $2,500 in that line item. So I dropped 1,500 out of it and spread it into let's see, the gas for the pickup and equipment. And then also diesel for the trucks,
No, but for the medical supplies themselves,
just for its first aid stuff, Band-Aids, yeah.
So it looks like in 20, we don't have 2023 yet finalized, but 2022, 21, 22, $1,900.
Probably was AED pads, and maybe batteries.
Yeah, and it's, there's enough there for that stuff.
and we get the Narcan from the state? Or do we
It doesn't
buy that?
come from us.
Yeah,
We don't do that.
That's Litchfield.
Mhm.
Well, that's pretty good. We're ready for a mass casualty with 50 dang people trained.
Yeah,
It all depends if they're all in town.
Right? Better.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
What did this last fire truck actually come in at, Rob?
I think
The new truck, the new
I think
NC5,
I think it's 690, I
690?
think. I don't have the exact figure in front of me, but it's definitely around there,
So we were,
not above.
last year, I think when we had the big meeting, it was like 681, so pretty damn close.
and what did the fire department kicked in some of that?
Up to 50.
Right.
Up to
50,000,
50.
yeah.
Do you know how much that was, or of the 50? Was it 50?
40 something.
Yeah, it's 40 something.
Okay.
We just worded it up to 50,000.
I just,
Nothing above 50,000.
right.
How are you guys on air packs and stuff like that?
We're good, with the new engine. I put in a capital for 2 additional air packs.
And your
Okay.
water rescue training guys, now that you have more trained up, they're good with gear.
Suits, we purchased the company. I think the company purchased 2 new suits.
I was just gonna say, you have 2 new guys that are, dive team, right?
There's. Trying to think offhand, how many guys, there's 5 guys, 5, 6 guys that are on the dive team.
Yeah, but there's 2 new ones, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
So this isn't on the budget here, but for the storm that happened and the generator that was installed, there was a question of how long or how much, how open the firehouse was.
it was open, there's somebody there.
So was it during the entire storm? If someone wanted to come in, they could come in?
Pretty much, yeah, I mean, if somebody's there, they can come in, I mean, there's room. Lights are on.
Okay,
And if anybody on the board has questions or whatever, they can call me on the phone,
yeah,
Well,
Well, I
My
mean, I
phone's
can
always on.
understand that, but I understood from a lot of people that went by that there was nobody at the firehouse for
might
them
have
to
caught
go
caught
in.
us at a time when we just wanted to go home and check on our own families.
Well, I mean, I can understand that. I mean, I do understand that, but I mean,
It is a
there,
volunteer group, right?
Right,
I understand that wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
But I mean, that from what I can understand from a lot of people that I've seen, that there were times that they went to go because everybody
Well,
was cold.
how
Nobody
about
had
this?
a
How about we
job.
keep the meeting to finance?
yeah, no, I
If
was
you
just,
guys have any questions, call me on the phone.
okay. Just wanted to ask, it was brought up, so I was asking.
Thank
Is there,
you.
is there capital, on fire department that we want to discuss?
you want to pull up the capital budget?
Up to you guys.
Yeah, sure. If you're all right with it.
Got Rob here.
Yeah.
He wants to get out of here.
Yeah, I need to get out of here at 7:30.
Okay.
Need to, have to.
And yeah, we're all four of us are here for the capital committee.
Was this the item?
That's it.
Huh?
That's it.
So the engine 3 replacement. Proposed, put in 50 grand for that. Oh, we don't have an
Engine
est-
5.
Okay, what'd you say, Kevin?
we don't have an estimate as the total cost for that.
Many years out.
Yeah. Parking lot. And propane line.
Mhm.
What is that, other than the obvious?
The parking lot needs to get redone with the addition of the bathroom downstairs as well. Run a sewer line. So there's gonna be a lot of excavation going on there, running a propane line underground from the new tank that got put in for the generator. So run it underneath, run the propane line underneath the parking lot. I mean, you're gonna have to dig into it anyway, and then run it into the firehouse to run, the hot, propane stuff that's in the firehouse, kind of water heater, possibly down the road, boilers.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that above the ground now?
The tank is underground, but the line running and feeding stuff
Has to be underground.
it's on the building, running across, it's above ground right now.
So would that occur this summer?
What?
Would that occur? Would you like to do that this summer or fall, or what was
Yes.
the timing on
Yeah.
that?
Because a lot of it, I think, hinges on the ARPA money.
And then what happened with that too is there's gutter drains that don't
Right,
run out underground into a pipe. So all the water that comes through the gutters is running between the firehouse and the parking lot. And it's starting to cause the parking lot to settle pretty bad.
and it's,
So during the excavation, we were gonna run the gutter lines out, into the park or, daylight them out somewhere away from the firehouse.
and
And all that work's gonna get done by the highway department.
right now, it's pitched, the grade's pitched into the firehouse instead of away from
Right.
the firehouse.
That's why we're looking at 50,000 versus.
Yes, and then I did get some quotes back for paving, which is it's it's a little bit less than that, so
Okay,
should be good.
and then you put in the 23,000 for the 2 scuba packs.
The SCBA packs, yes. Yep,
And that's it basically, right?
capital.
Yep.
Firehouse, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Anybody else have any questions? For Rob?
No, I think it's. Thanks, man.
All right, appreciate it. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
So do we want to stay here or do we want to jump into the highway, or how you want to?
However you want, if there's other questions on capital,
Well, we jump right into
I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Well, I was just, so the highway, but we also have the capital thing up, so do we want to, is tab open?
However you want to do it.
So Kyle, for those not in the room, Kyle has a handout. You want to just walk through that?
Sure.
And then,
His budget, you'll probably the same.
Yeah, a lot of that came off of this.
ROSENBECK, right?
Correct.
okay,
Go to department requested. All the notes. The department requested line under 23-24 has all the notes that he's got in his handout.
Yeah, the red tabs.
yeah,
Will those be in the
There.
BOF box to pick up?
what was that?
Will this information be available in the Board of Finance's box?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have extra
We have
copies.
extra copies.
We made 8 copies, so I didn't know who was gonna be here, so.
Great, thanks.
So let's just go through the line items and unless you want to walk us through each one of these.
Yeah, I mean, they're in order with what's on the screen.
Highway seasonal wages,
Yep, seasonal wages went down 6,000, basically because we have the ability to utilize the transfer station foreman for part-time work. So we can decrease that amount and that also is used for summer help with flagging traffic or mowing the parks, and
Yeah, gotcha.
whatever we need, basically.
So do you guys mow the parks?
Yes.
Okay.
We mow the park in the center of town, the town hall, the Munson House, and then the athletic fields at the town beach as well.
Okay,
Yeah, we actually had somebody doing that, but now
Yeah,
no cost
yep,
generally.
yep. Just equipment, upkeep, and that kind of good stuff.
So then we have road crew overtime.
Yep. Went up a little bit based on what, current wages.
Okay, hundred and 75 hours.
Yeah, that's the average on an average winter. Obviously, the hours could change
Right.
upwards or downwards based on the winter we're having.
yeah,
So
and this
this,
is the winter until now.
yeah,
Pretty much, exactly.
then we go down to highway oil.
Yep, that went up $600 basically because the contracted price went up. And we have the average amount of gallons we've used.
Okay. Telephone.
Yep, that's the same. Telephone's the same. Internet is the same.
What's garage maintenance?
Um,
Is that just tools and equipment for repairing stuff?
that's usually, we can get to that. That's, I think, coming up.
Okay.
pretty-
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You guys are going line by line.
Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So internet is gonna stay the same. Electricity went up from, I think, 3,400 to 5,000.
1,000, yeah.
We did install new LED lights. And we had, we added a couple of lights, but it's pretty much the delivery charge that we're seeing, and the supply charge is went up. Which I'm sure everybody can feel that.
Yep.
Who do you use for electricity, Tom? I'm gonna probably go back to Tom on this because who are you using for electrical supplies to the town of Morris?
Constellation Energy?
Okay, great, thanks. It's just not Eversource.
No, a little bit cheaper.
Highway supplies.
Yep, highway supplies went up a little bit, $300.
Okay.
That covers, anything we need for the office, paper, drinking water. That kind of
Yep.
stuff.
Now, do you system for your water? Or do you buy it by, I'm gonna say
I'm
like,
sorry,
the-
what-
Do you have a system for the water?
we have a, like a bubbler, is that what?
No, for like drinking water, do you
have-
buy?
Yeah, we buy our drinking water, yeah,
I mean,
in
which-
bottles, and then we have. Yeah,
I
we
mean-
have like the 5-gallon jugs, and then we have drinking water bottles when we're working on the road.
okay, I mean, now, do you utilize Poland Springs or one of those
Yeah,
systems?
it's through Ready Refresh.
Yeah.
The same that the rest of the town uses.
Okay,
And then the garage maintenance, you had listed some,
Yep. Yeah, so I kind of broke it down with a number of different things that come out of this line. Propane, the boiler inspection and maintenance, fire extinguisher inspections, boiler cleanings, alarm monitoring, which is a new thing we had to add in there because we updated the alarm system and we have to pay a monitoring fee. It's basically, they monitor it 24/7 for a fire or a burglar alarm.
mhm,
We have holding tanks for floor drains, septic tank. We have a dumpster and then just miscellaneous repairs and janitorial services.
okay. There's a big line item, road maintenance. This lists all the various different.
Yeah, road maintenance was a tough one because pretty much everything that's listed on there has gone up substantially. I mean, drainage pipe tripled over the last year. And gravel for the roads and for, drainage projects is a lot more expensive because of the fuel for the trucking. And you name it, it went up.
And at the bottom here, you list Looking Glass Hill.
Yeah, so that's one of the projects we're gonna be working on, hopefully doing some drainage work this summer. I know we have a grant that's pending, we're pending approval on. So that's gonna be a big deciding factor on what's gonna happen with that road.
Okay. Highway equipment, replace shovels, rakes, that's just kind of general.
Yeah, that covers any sort of hand tools and mechanics tools that we need in the garage.
Diesel, again, kind of went up a little bit.
Yep, that's the one that went up based on the contract price.
Gallons do you buy?
Well, 7,000 diesel and 1,100 gas.
Okay.
That's a rough average.
It says 5,800.
Okay. Yeah, that might have been what we used this past year.
Okay,
My notes, I have 7,000, but
A 4-year average.
yeah, okay.
And like this year, it's gonna be light.
Yeah, yep.
engineering services,
Yep, that's staying the same. That can cover if we have an issue with a, surveying or,
to bring in someone for that?
yeah, yep. We use an outside service for that.
Who are you using now?
Well, lately we've been using Cardinal Engineering. They're part of the COG bid.
Yep.
So they seem to be pretty good. They work well with us.
And then this is the highway repair and maintenance. So what's the difference between that and the road maintenance?
So this covers truck and equipment maintenance.
Okay,
Basically any sort of mower parts or miscellaneous, like shop rags, speedy dry, unexpected repairs, welding equipment, chains for the trucks, bolts, hardware.
How often do you replace the chains for the trucks?
Well, it depends on, if we have a bad winter where we're driving with tire chains, it would depend, but
I
then we
understand.
also have the chains that run for the sanders. It's a chain spread type system.
Yep.
And those wear out, over time and we have to replace those and
I got it.
it gets expensive, especially lately.
so how many trucks do you have down there?
Right now we have 4 big trucks, like
Yep.
we have 3 6-wheelers, a 10-wheeler. Then we have the small pickup truck,
Mhm.
and then we have a medium-sized like Mason dump style truck.
One of those trucks was put out to be sold.
Yeah.
The 01
Mhm.
International.
Another one's coming in or?
We already got the other one that came in, so that's in service now, and we were kind of waiting to sell it till that came in and we got that on the road, so. I think we have the date closing for that on the 30th. I know there's been quite a few people interested in it, so hopefully we'll see a good number on the sale.
So when it sells, what line item does that money go to?
General fund. Unfortunately, it's too bad it couldn't go back into
Right?
one of these. One of
Goes
these
under
lines.
sale of town property.
Yeah,
Circle around.
yep, I hear you.
Tires and lube, that's different than,
Yeah, tires and lube is different. That's oil, oil for the trucks, and truck tires, equipment tires. That didn't increase.
Okay.
We're in pretty good shape with tires. I know a couple of years ago, we had to do kind of all of them at once, unfortunately. And, but right now we're in pretty good shape.
Now, do
Okay.
you guys mount your own tires or do you send them out?
We usually send them out. Yeah, we don't have the equipment to balance them
Gotcha. Yep.
and it's backbreaking work doing that.
Oh, I know.
Plus you
I know.
get,
Tosi or Zeller, but yeah, Tosi or Zeller, I usually try to call to see who's got the best price and then go to that
Yep.
person.
I never forget a guy I worked with that he was doing his own truck tires
Oh, yeah.
and he
blew up.
put the air in and that safety ring.
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right, that could be very dangerous.
So the snow plows, the blades, snow blades,
Yep, the snowplow blades went up $200 just because that's what the increase was. for
Do you
one
use-
blade.
But now, didn't they just replace them last year?
yeah, I was just,
Yeah, we did one truck last year. That's the price on one edge for one truck. So we try to rotate them on about a 5-year basis. So in 5 years from now, the truck that gets done this year will get a new blade, vice versa.
Okay.
It's an expensive piece of metal.
It's very, it's
Tungsten.
it's got carbide edge in it.
Yeah.
And then we use shoes that go on the backside of the blade. Yeah, so it doesn't hurt the chip seal.
Salt and sand.
Yeah, that went up. That was a big hit for us because it went up from, I think it was $59 to $79 a ton. So $20 a ton, it increased.
So you were saying with the new salt shed, we should be able to do more of a bulk order
Yeah,
and save some in the long run?
hopefully, I mean, it's really depends on what the contract price is too, because we buy it in a group through the Northwest Hills. So this past year, there was only one vendor that was on the bid, which was unfortunate because the year prior, there was about 6 other companies that were selling salt to the region. So,
So this is a fairly mild winter. Did you go through all the salt or?
no, we used about 400 tons.
Okay.
On average, we're around 600 to 700. So we're under the amount. We still have quite a bit left over.
Does that stay or?
That's gonna stay, yeah. Yep. So
So-
there's still a pile there.
So what if how many trucks do you have that are capable of hauling salt?
Well,
Say you put them all out to the shoreline or wherever you're buying it. How many of
yeah,
those trucks?
that's, well, we have 4 trucks that could haul, but they can only haul 10 tons.
Right, I
where-
realize that, yeah.
To where you have a big truck that can haul, 25 tons. And part of their price is the trucking.
So, okay, so you don't send your own trucks, you actually
No,
contract it out?
yeah, we contract, yeah, it's part of their bid is to haul it.
Okay,
Probably costs just,
all left over.
We have some salt, yeah, left over.
so I guess that's the question. You think you need that much?
Well, I mean, there still could be
Yeah,
times this winter where we're gonna utilize it. And we also treat our own salt. So part of this increase is because we have to replenish the liquid that's in the tanks to treat the salt.
okay.
Because right now they're almost emptied. We have 2,200 gallon tanks. So that's part of this is to have those tanks refilled to treat our own salt.
So Kyle, what do you feel the difference is between running, let's say, your 4 trucks to haul a load of salt as
Time.
opposed to having it trucked in?
Yeah, I guess a lot of it has to do with what the price is, because if the town was to go to the terminal and buy it directly, the price may be higher because we're not buying it through the contract price. Because there's a bid between several towns. That's why how we get the price we do. So if we don't purchase through that specific bid, which includes the trucking, we may end up paying more than to have it brought in.
Plus you're paying diesel. wear and
Paying the
tear.
fuel, having
Yeah,
the
I mean,
guys
the
go
wear and
through.
tear on the vehicles and all that, I understand.
I
that.
get that's certainly an idea, but then we have to go all the way down to Bridgeport to the,
Right,
it's like,
right.
that's a haul.
What's like Illinois, they used to put the beet juice on, basically, we call it the beet juice.
Right.
Is that something they could use here in the state or?
Yeah, they had an issue with that. I guess New York City tried to use it, and what happened was they stained a lot of the cars.
Oh,
Like the white cars got stained with purple.
Okay.
And it was a big issue.
But it's
We use it-
environmentally.
Yeah,
lot
we
better.
use a similar product. It's called Ice Be Gone. It's got like a sugar base mixed with mag chloride. It's supposed to be less corrosive, they say. The guy that actually sold it to us had a little bottle of it. He took a sip of it. So he's like, this is safe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have drank it myself, but.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Right, yeah, yeah,
That's because he's gone, he dropped dead.
yeah.
Street signs, still replacing those.
Yep, street signs is staying the same. That also covers like cones, barricades, et cetera.
Sure.
Yeah, OSHA is staying the same. That just covers safety supplies and we have a hazmat system, like a contracted system for our hazardous materials that's in the garage for OSHA. That was one of their requirements when they did an inspection.
And then this is a big line item, chip seal. So
Yep,
this-
just chip seal went up. That was another big one because the price of the oil. And even for this coming budget year, the budget year we're already in, I still don't know where they're gonna be at for chip sealing price because it's pending the cost of the oil. So it's a hard number to pin down, especially for next budget year, what the price is gonna be because they don't even know themselves.
When do you get to lock in on that?
They try to not lock in anything because the price fluctuates so much.
I mean, but
Because
you. I mean,
The company that does it, they don't even know what the price is gonna be. Their labor price stays the same, but it's the oil and the aggregate, the stone price that varies. Based on fuel, if it's $6 a gallon for fuel, it's gonna be more than if the fuel is $3 a gallon.
It's a big guessing game.
It
That's
is,
all
it is.
well, I mean,
So
I understand that because like, I know it's a different scenario, but I mean, let's say for home heating oil, I know what I'm paying this year as opposed to last year
Right.
and I'm locked in on a budget plan. you
Yeah,
know?
we typically, we purchase through the state bid, but those
Yep.
numbers aren't even out yet. So whatever the state bid pricing is what we can lock in at.
Okay, because I know I do mine in June, so I'm just, I was just curious.
Right. And even the state bid pricing fluctuates. They can't give a set number on even the state bid price. It varies.
And that's all spent in the summertime, right? It's nothing.
Yeah, it's usually done right before July 1st,
And you plow or you chip seal all roads?
except for the,
Paved roads.
yep, all paved roads are on a rotation.
And if you do a minimum or, yeah, so.
Same time.
minimum-
Not,
No.
Right.
Like you said, you do it every 5 years.
yes, yep,
And if you minimum 50,000, that's, you have to do more than 50,000. Otherwise, you're doing it every 6 years.
yeah, and that's the 50,000 square yards is the requirement to purchase through the state bid.
Sweet.
This is the plan for this coming summer.
Yes. Yep,
Into next winter.
these are the roads that are gonna get done.
Okay.
Obviously, the transfer station road to the brush pile is budget permitting because
Right.
at the end of the day, I'd rather spend that on a road that actually, is traveled.
Yeah.
There's traffic.
Okay, and then paving, what's paving?
Paving staying the same, that we try to we use that line for, if we're patching or if we're doing various jobs around town that require us to buy asphalt. And that didn't increase because
And that's just fixing spots that need to be fixed.
yep,
And that's bought as needed.
as needed, yeah.
Hey, there's one on West Morris Road. It's a cattywampus.
Yeah, there's all these back roads that's like,
And you guys do the skirts going into driveways too, right?
well,
Apron, whatever.
there's
Yeah.
new houses that are being built are required to do their own apron.
No?
Yep.
So that's part of, they have to get a driveway permit, take a bond out and do their own apron.
And then the crack seal, which is different than the chip seal.
Yep, crack sealing usually is done right before we chip seal.
You guys do that?
No, that's a contract. That's another one that's part of the COG bid.
Okay.
That seems
Physicals. Just,
new blood down there. Right?
Yeah, we had a couple new employees that had to do their pre-physicals.
Okay.
The price of the physicals went up a little bit too.
uniform.
Now that's staying the same. Longevity is the same.
What is longevity? Sorry. I just don't know what that is.
That's if employees there for over 5 years, you get $150 check,
Okay.
part of the union contract.
Reimbursement.
Meal reimbursement, I don't know, did that increase? Or that stayed the same?
Looks like it's did.
Yep. That's what I have, 875. 860, okay.
Training.
Training staying the same. We actually have a class coming up in April that we're gonna do here at the town hall. It's a work zone safety class. So all of our employees are gonna be taking that. including the transfer station foreman said he'd sit in on it as well.
Okay. And then this one went down, stormwater testing.
Yeah, so Tom, you can speak on that, right?
Yeah, we're utilizing Cardinal Engineering to take care of that stormwater testing for us at the highway garage and transfer station. And they checked with the testing companies and found that they can get it done for $18 for the year.
Yeah.
Good savings.
Yep, sure.
All right, I do have one question,
Sure.
and that was on November 10th of 22. A picture went up on Facebook of the new salt shed,
Mhm.
okay? But no zoning permit was ever issued until February. Has there ever been a CO issued for that building?
I know that we did do a wetlands permit prior to the structure going up.
Yeah, that's not a building permit.
Right, I understand, and I went through Torrington Area Health as well. And I did coordinate with Tony. Because it's not, I wasn't sure if that was a permanent structure because it's built on concrete blocks. So it's not like a,
Doesn't have a foundation.
it doesn't have a foundation and we also had the property surveyed prior to it going up. And it may have been an error on my part by not doing that. But I made sure that as soon as I heard that I needed to do it, I got it done same day. So,
Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm just, November 10th, the picture went up and of the new salt shed, but no zoning permit was ever issued until February. And I'm
Right.
just curious just to see if there's actually, a CO has been issued on that.
yeah, I'm not sure. I never heard of needing a CO for that.
A certificate of occupancy?
Right, I don't know if that's if we need that or not.
Well,
Yeah, if it's nobody's living in there, so.
Well, I understand that, but it's still
It's a-
a structure.
It
Right.
says shed
Yeah,
in the name. If it's
I mean,
a blocks and
when I had the property surveyed, we had an engineering company do this. And nobody mentioned that I needed to go through zoning.
Okay.
So it was my mistake by not doing that, but I took care of it. It's all set now.
All right,
Okay.
I'll back out. Yep.
Can I ask a couple of questions, please?
Absolutely.
Kyle, my name's Carrie. I was not here last year when you came in, so I have a few questions. What were you working in Morris before, or did you come on and just become the foreman?
No, I worked on the crew for about 6 years before.
Okay,
Being
so
promoted.
so you're part of everything. Okay.
Yep.
Second thing, there was a project put together by the town to look at all the roads and see, they were maybe going to bond it for $2 million. Did you ever see that project?
Yeah, it was through Beta Group.
Yeah.
I still have the software. I still have all the documents. It was done and I think it was 2018 or 19,
No, it was before that. It was before
14.
2016.
yeah,
2016.
or
Even before 14.
17. Before 17.
Really? Oh, maybe they came in and updated it then.
They came back in. 'cause
They came back in.
Training.
Yeah.
on Those laptops, so they came back into training.
Cause I remember riding around with a couple of their guys to look at the roads. And what I found is a road that got chip sealed over. They gave like a sufficiency rating of like almost 100. So they're basically looking at it as the road looks like it's 100%, but they're not looking at like the subsurface of the road and what's underneath. Basically, what drainage improvements can be made. They're not looking at, certain areas on the side that ledge could be blasted or removed for sight lines. They're kind of just looking at the surface conditions. So to me, I didn't think it was that beneficial, but we still do have all the documents. And yeah, I know it was a pretty expensive service for them to do that.
Okay, then my next question is, you went over $10,000 on truck maintenance in the last budget. and Rick told us that $4,500 was for a truck repair.
Yeah, so we had a couple of expensive repairs towards the end of last budget year. We had to do a radiator in one of our trucks, and the parts alone for that were very expensive. We did all the work ourselves. And then towards the end, right near the end of the fiscal year, the exhaust manifolds were leaking on one of our other trucks. And that requires specialty tools and a lift that we don't have at the garage, you know, to get the truck on a lift to do the repairs. So we had to send that to Litchfield Ford to have them take care of that.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and one more question. Could the chip seal cost, can any of that go from tar? Or is that not allowed to go from tar?
I think we covered some overages last year because the oil price was higher than anticipated. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure if I remember correctly, Rick might have to refresh my memory, but I think we covered the overages out of tar from that.
That's true.
Okay,
think-
thank you.
I think it came in at 97,000 and we only budgeted 93.
What was tar? County Road.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I said, what is tar this year? County
it's,
Road.
it's 170 something thousand.
Yeah, and a lot of that is going to go towards this East Shore culvert that we're gonna do. We're gonna try to not increase what we had in there because I think we're gonna see some numbers that are gonna be in the town's favor. So if we can try to utilize tar to get some of these bigger projects done and cross them off the list, that's the idea.
But didn't Tom get a big grant for doing East Shore Road?
Yeah, the grant was for the grant was to repave the road. But before we repave the road, we have to replace this box culvert by the town beach that we've been talking about for years.
Yeah, I know.
That's gonna be going out to bid here probably within 2 weeks. So as soon as we hear back some numbers, we'll know which direction to go in, especially as far as tar is concerned.
Okay,
Plus the head walls.
Plus, there's 2 head walls that need to get done before the paving. That's actually out to bid right now.
all right.
so any other questions, Carrie?
Thank you.
So we can just, I want to just kind of touch base on the capital projects.
Sure.
Back up. We have 60 current balance, just put in 30.
Yeah, that's in there. The backhoe, it's a 2001, 2000. So it's 23 years old now. So we're hoping that within 5 years to have that replaced. Because we are starting to see some pretty bad rust starting underneath,
How much is a backhoe?
about 150 to 175. Yeah.
But can I just interrupt right now? I mean, Vinnie made a suggestion. I happened to be at the Board of Selectmen's meeting when Vinnie made a suggestion that maybe you take the backhoe from the transfer station.
Yeah, that backhoe it's set up differently than ours. Because it's called an extender hoe that's on ours to where the boom can extend out farther to get
Yep.
certain things done, like, for instance, pulling beaver dams or digging, whatever, loading trucks. And the backhoe down there doesn't have that. So it's just set up differently than what we can use it for. Than what's
Let me just ask a simple question. How much would it take to fix the expenditures on that backhoe to, let's say, destroy a beaver dam?
Well, to
Which
be
I hope-
honest about it, the backhoe that's down there is in worse shape than ours. And it's actually at JW Tractor getting repaired right now. So they're doing a 2,000 hour or 3,000 hour service on it or something, and there's a number of repairs that needed to be made to that.
So how old is that one compared to the one that you have?
That backhoe is, I want to say it's 2004. So it's not that much newer than ours. And I know the town bought that as a demo. But that machine is actually in worse shape than our machine. So it's kind of down there for packing cans and pushing up brush piles and
Light duty.
light duty stuff, and it's a lot slower going up the road than ours. The ride control isn't as good. And that's, most of that is coming from our operators that run it.
Okay,
The next item is 2008, what's that, Intel dump?
International.
National.
Yeah, Intel.
Intel?
Intel. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of our older trucks that's gonna be, I think we figured to be replaced in 2028, if I'm not mistaken. And at that point, it'll be 20 years old, and that's kind of the
Life of
the
those.
life of the trucks, which is a lot more than a lot of the other towns around. The town of Sharon actually stopped down to look at our new truck, and they run theirs 10 years. Warren, they run their trucks 10 years.
well, maybe
So-
you start putting money away for the next truck to come into town.
Well,
That's what we're,
That's what that is.
yeah, we try to,
I know,
we try to stretch the as much as we can to get as many years as we can.
yeah,
And I think our maintenance line item is a big factor in
Yeah.
keeping up with everything.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, the pictures, the posts you put out showing that you're blasting, you're undercoating, you're doing all this stuff.
Right.
It's a big deal.
yeah, we really try to
It shows.
keep
that
up with
you're doing it
everything.
in-house.
And a lot of the other towns around notice that too. They stop down and they're like, wow, you guys really keep your equipment and trucks in nice shape.
Yeah. You have a wash station down there?
And we don't have a wash station, but inside the garage, we do have the floor drains that
Yeah.
if it's too cold, we can wash inside the garage.
keep the,
Yeah,
salt.
there's an oil separator that gets pumped out as well.
Okay. Multi-use mower.
Yeah, so the idea with that is, I think they're about 50,000, but that can maintain the infield at the town beach instead of contracting that out. It has a lot of different attachments. It's got a brush hog attachment. It's got a snow blower attachment, sweeper. And the idea with the multi-use mower is they can utilize it at the transfer station, like, if they get snow, they can use that instead of shoveling away from the cans.
Mhm.
It'd be a lot more efficient.
What is it?
Mowing yeah, it's a Ventrac. You ever hear of a Ventrac? Yeah, it's like a articulating mower that's used for steep hills. So one of our mowers is on its way out and, my thought was we can replace it with something we can get that's more than just a lawn mower. It can do
But
other
did-
things.
But didn't they just replace a couple of mowers a couple of years ago?
Yeah, we have two mowers. So that mower that you're talking about was replaced. But the one that's the other mower that we have is 2014. And yeah, it's a Bobcat. We bought that as a
Yeah.
demo. And that's kind of on its way out.
You know what? My suggestion is put a little bit of money into it. That's my thing. I mean, I did 37 acres every week. And I ran one mower for 20 some odd years.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, the
I'm
mower,
just saying-
the
I'm just
mower
saying.
still works. And
You know,
we almost thought about keeping
Put a little bit
that.
of money into
We
it.
almost thought about keeping that mower and then, 3 guys can go mowing instead of 2. And it get done a lot faster because especially in the summer, we get out of work at 2 or 2:30 based on the weather, but you gotta wait till 9, 10 o'clock for the dew to burn off. And that only leaves us with a few hours to get the mowing done. So we try to all jump on it at the same time and get it done.
And then here's the culvert. So we have 164,000 in the balance. I want to put another 50 and that will cover doing that.
Yeah, like I said, it's going out to bid here in another couple weeks, so we'll really have a definite number once that comes back. But I think we're gonna be safe with adding the 50 in, that should cover it.
At one time, that was like $700,000 was an estimate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's going through local bridge with all the permitting and the type of culvert that or
Yeah.
it wasn't a culvert.
There's a lot,
More than box culvert they're looking to
Right.
put back in
Mhm.
instead of pipes.
yeah, there's certain requirements that we would have had to meet to do the grant. And in certain instances, it's cheaper to not accept the grant and kind of do it the town's way versus the state's way.
So basically you're saying for East Shore Road, you're not going to accept the grant.
We got denied the grant.
Local bridge.
Yeah. The 50-50 grant with the town got denied. They said that it wasn't as bad as some of the other areas and they didn't have the funding like they were hoping.
I think they only funded 14 bridges.
There was a lot of towns that got denied this local bridge grant.
But
Yeah,
can
pro-
somebody
I think-
correct me if I'm wrong? Didn't you, Tom, say that they accepted the grant? I mean, we got a grant for this
We got a
project.
grant. I think we got a grant for the paving part of East Shore Road, which was $500,000. The grant for the culvert would have, the total cost would have been around 700, but only would have paid for 50% of it. So that would, $350,000. So this is significantly less than that.
I think we're going to see some good numbers.
Okay. So when is that coming in, the bid?
They're just wrapping up the final design through the engineering firm. And then they're gonna submit a RFP, so we'll be able to send it out, sit down with some of the local contractors and get their numbers.
So this 50,000 might actually go down or could go down or?
I mean, I can't say yes or no, but we'll have to wait and see on that.
And this all get done in conjunction with the East Shore paving.
Yes, this all this
Do that
is gonna get
first.
done before.
And how long are you shutting it down for?
They anticipate a week,
Wow,
so
that's quick.
It's a fast job.
That's quick.
that's what they say.
Well, so we'll say a month.
So we'll say a
Yeah.
month. Yeah, hopefully not, but best
Sorry,
case a
we'll
week.
get there Here,
Fuel tank system? What's-
Yeah, that's the total project cost, I think, was around mid-60s to replace that with a diesel and gas system. Because right now we're still going to the gas station and it's inconvenient. It's very inconvenient to have to go there to fill up the lawnmowers and get gas for the truck and chainsaws and everything. It'd be nice to have a tank right at the garage where we can just fill up, especially during a snowstorm. The gas station's closed and we're out plowing. And what are
Well,
we?
then You're also paying.
We're
Local,
also paying pump price. Yeah,
This is what we talked about. And I think you were talking about last year having the keypad system.
I was
Yeah.
The
just
only
gonna
ones
say,
with access are gonna be you.
right,
I can identify that Kyle used this much fuel.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
there's no issue.
And it would, you'd have a specific key fob that would tell you it came out of this truck.
Same as All Star uses
Right.
at Litchfield.
The same as every other public works department uses.
that's
then
what
the
you're
fire
talking
department.
about doing?
That's what we were really hoping to get done pretty soon.
I'm
Uh,
in total agreement of something like that. I mean, if you guys have got to do something like that and it has to go to a key fob, where, all right, Kyle came in with truck number 5 or John Smith came in with truck number 3, you know what? It's all accounted for.
Well, it gives you averages to average gallon amounts per snowstorm or per year. It'll give you the exact amount of gallons used.
Nice for your
But I
budget.
mean, not
It's
as
good
long
for the
as.
budget and it's good for the town because not only us can utilize it, but transfer station, fire department. So
But I mean-
it'd be a win for the town.
I know what I'm gonna say is gonna probably come across as sarcastic, but as long as you can't personally go in with a key fob from truck number 5 and fill up your own truck.
No, absolutely not. And then, there's obviously security cameras in place at the garage now.
I'm
Um,
just, like I said, I know it's gonna come across as sarcastic, but
No, not at all. Yeah, absolutely. And,
like,
it'll even tell you the time of day.
I
you know,
speak my
'cause-
mind.
Because right now, all we have is a switch. So
Yep.
we have no
Right.
accountability at all right now.
I mean, to me, the key fob system is definitely the way to go. That way, everything is accountable for. There's no questions as to who took fuel, didn't take fuel. You know,
Okay. And that was about 70, you thought? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried getting multiple quotes. I could only get one quote.
Okay.
Um,
So that's 35 this year, 35 next year.
that was the idea.
Okay.
I wish we could fund it all right now, but there's other things.
John White Bridge,
Yeah, so that's another 1940s bridge that we gotta start saving up for.
just the whole bridge.
Yeah, yep. It's another one that the water is actually running underneath the pipe versus going through it. So it, we gotta keep up with this stuff.
Yeah, no, I
We
get it.
don't wanna have catastrophic failures and then now we're stuck doing things right now versus planning for it.
So guesstimate on that?
Well, if you go by the engineer's numbers, that's another one that's 600 to 700,000.
But that's a full-on bridge, not just a culvert.
It's, well, right now, it's a large corrugated aluminum pipe,
Right?
or actually it might be steel, because it is starting to rust, so it's gotta be steel. But the idea was to replace it with a box culvert.
But it's
So
not, is it,
I
is
need
it,
to backtrack for just 1 second. In regards to the key fobs situation. Can I
Yeah.
ask who would have access to those key fob situation, the key fobs? My personal opinion is, I personally feel that it should only be the town crew. Not the first selectman, not the second, or any of those. I mean, it
Well,
strictly has,
there's other things to use besides a key fob. They have a touch screen on the, that could be like a keypad where you type in your last four, your social, or, whatever, you'd have a specific code. So, there's multiple different ways of doing it. You can have a key fob that just stays with the truck. It stays on the truck key. So you shut your truck off, you take the key out.
yeah, I
and then you
know.
Then it tells you what truck. Obviously, I'm sure the first selectman would have access to it, so he could be like, why is truck 5 getting gas when you guys are, it's not during business hours?
Yeah.
There's
I-
accountability.
I mean, I'm
because-
just, actually, what I'm trying to point out is, I'm curious about the accountability. I mean, if this is something that you're seriously thinking about, and I just said that I kind of agree with it, but, I don't want to see every Tom, Dick, and Harry have access to John
Yeah, but-
Smith EFOB.
Adele, if we use, say, the transfer station, selectmen, whatever, fire department, we save money on the gas if we're buying in bulk versus them going to Sitco.
Hunter, I agree, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's only so
There's
many
got-
fobs.
Adela, you're all agreeing on the key fob thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Really all agreeing.
I,
Yeah, I just,
We're going around, but you're all saying.
same
"No,
thing?
but- Yeah, but,
Hey,
yeah, but.
people that are gonna cheat are gonna cheat. You catch them. We
we've
have a
already,
camera system and.
All right, Adele.
I'm gonna
um,
stop. I'm gonna stop.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So the East Shore, John White Bridge, I'm just confused. Is it an actual bridge or is
Yes.
it
The bridge.
walls on either side?
yeah, it's a large pipe.
Okay,
6 foot.
They consider it a bridge. The state actually comes out and inspects it.
okay.
Old pipe.
I'm thinking of a bridge with like concrete walls on either side.
Yeah,
Have any of those in town?
It's a baby.
Hey, we got one on 109 over there. I
the
mean,
one on Smoky Hollow, they got redone.
Smoky Hollow.
Smoky Hollow
I-
Bridge.
Yeah.
I've erased that from my memory banks.
okay.
109 is a state road.
All right, and this is 170,000 for East Shore Road.
Yeah, that covers the remainder of the balance for the paving.
Yeah.
Which the prices were substantially lower than anticipated, which is an excellent thing.
That's going to town meeting April 3rd at 6:30.
Okay.
Get the contract signed.
Yeah, absolutely.
April what?
April 3rd, Monday night,
It's
Time.
6:30.
This
Bother.
poor time, sorry, I missed it.
6:30, April 3rd. Is there other items, I'm assuming, or?
Yeah, there's a interlocal agreement for animal control, Region 6 position through the end of through December 31st, 2024. Housing Authority. I can't remember what else.
Okay.
That's April 3rd at 6:30.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sure that'll be posted on the town website
Oh, and the sign,
and the sign.
CPG.
Okay. So I don't know if we want to talk about these other capital fence items.
Well,
You got-
Kyle's not.
You got three of the capital committee still here.
Yeah.
so.
Oh.
That's Rick,
Okay.
myself and Kyle.
Yeah, that's,
Rob's the other one.
do you want to touch on these?
Municipal building capital maintenance, we've been doing that for a few years now. It's really worked out well. We've been improving our buildings a bit at a time and it's definitely necessary.
Is there anything in particular that would cover or just general?
Well, we've been talking about it for years. It's the exterior of these buildings. This one needs a bit of repointing of the bricks. I mean, you're talking 1934. Needs some upkeep. So we're gonna try to work on that. I know the firehouse needs some work as well.
I think I missed a page.
Masonry buildings.
Do some.
What, Adele?
What
I think I missed a page, Kip.
page of?
I'm
We're
on a
talking
page
about
where it
Blackman.
starts out with engine 3 replacement.
We're not on highway anymore.
Okay,
We're on the budget.
The budget for CapEx?
well, okay, I mean, I've got to get out of here somehow and go to the budget. So,
So do you have the budget on the screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing the screen.
all right,
that's-
all right, it's just me, it's my thing.
Okay.
Okay,
So does
Not a
this
problem.
municipal building capital line, will this cover any repairs or maintenance on the house next door or the building?
Yeah, and we used it before to replace the water pump over there, to get the water system going again.
The roof?
is that building utilized at all or?
Yep. And actually, we're working with Morris Friends and Neighbors to move their food pantry over there so they can get all their freezers and refrigerators in one spot and have a nice central location where they can serve the needs of the people easily, just right from that building.
Yeah.
So otherwise, they're bringing it in from like Vinnie's there, like from 5 different locations. They're having to haul all the stuff in. Now they'll have one spot. They can keep it there. And so it's working out well.
And anybody that in need can go to that one spot.
Yep.
Okay,
Every fourth Friday of the month.
the fire pound dredging, that was one of the dredging.
Yeah, that went up 5,000 from last year. Just because it's been the same forever and the cost to get this done is rising. You know, it involves excavators and trucks and the fuel and, you know.
That's not something you guys can do or?
We've put our trucks on in the past. Last year, I think we did 3 ponds. We help out as much as we can. So anything that we can do to help, we've done.
Who actually does the dredging of the ponds?
We've had a couple different contractors, but last year we used Graham's Excavating. He lives over on Burgess Road. He's
Okay.
local. His prices were really good. And he does great work.
Nice job.
No complaints.
So what happens to all that soil that comes out of the ponds and stuff like that? Where does that go?
We hauled it to the transfer station. We let it dry out, then we screen it, reuse it as topsoil, mix it in with some of the fill and compost. And it makes really nice material that we can use for projects around town.
So I'm going to ask a really snarky question right now. Why were town trucks followed to Ben Peletsky's property, dumping the soil that came out of one of the fire ponds?
Oh, yeah, we use that on Esther's pond, fire pond.
Yep.
It was a shorter haul for us because that material was really sloppy. So we didn't want to go like down Townshill and go around the sharp corner. with a
But I
sloppy-
understand that that's the cream of the crop. The bottom of the pond is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, it was anybody that I would have dumped it across the street if they would have let me. But it was the closest place that I could find that would take it.
Okay, gotcha. I'm not going to go any further.
Eldridge generator.
Eldridge generator,
Yeah, the current generator is over 30 years old. It needs replacing. We're going to work with the housing authority. Hopefully he will get a grant, but you always need the type of grants that they get, need some matching funds. So I'm hoping to probably between this year and next year, get $20,000 set aside by the town and let the housing authority pay for the balance, because you're probably looking at $80,000 to replace. So you have 2 transfer state switches and everything
Is
else.
dated.
Yep, it's,
I mean, you can wake up to all of East Morris when that.
Generators. A lot.
but it does serve the water system down at Eldridge and also does the entire senior center building. And the community room at Eldridge as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can get one that's a lot more efficient, that uses less fuel,
I
a
think we'll,
lot smaller, quieter. Propane's the way to go.
And then the cybersecurity update.
yeah, I think I told you we had that cybersecurity assessment done by the state and they recommended these changes to what we have here. And these are the one-time cost changes that we'll be looking at. I'm thinking it's on the high side. Yucatec is our vendor for IT and they've gotten pretty high marks from the state. Because the state's gone around, they're trying to hit every municipality because they have some federal funding to do this. And Yucatec's got some really good remarks from the state for cybersecurity. And so we're fortunate, we've gotten a lot done, but we have some more to do, including training.
Okay.
Is that all systems? All town paid for systems?
Yeah, anything that's
Library
connected to our network here.
Okay.
This is a housekeeping issue, but somewhere along the line, we talked about capital being 10,000 or over. Should that be into a line item?
If you want to, that's fine.
It's just a housekeeping issue.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I don't know if is it a set in stone? I can't remember.
It's certainly not set in stone. It's a matter of Board of Finance opinion. There was a point that we had a lot of 2,000, 3,000 in capital, and we said we had talked about a $10,000 minimum for capital, and the rest be kept in the general budget.
Oh. Oh, this one particular line item. Got it.
And we did 5,000 last year.
Yeah, I think it was the shelf life of what you were doing and if it was like a one-time cost as well. Obviously, it's gonna be recurring. When you talk about maybe fire pond dredging, because that's a recurring,
Yeah, we've always talked about fire pond dredging. Sometimes it,
but also the shelf life of what you're doing is what you're purchasing.
How often do we do the fire pond?
Every year.
Every different pond every year or more.
Yeah, we've tried, well, last year or the year prior to last, we couldn't because it was raining so much. So that's what's nice about having it in capital is it carried over to the following year. So we were able to get those ponds done in conjunction with the one that was scheduled for that year. So it kind of worked out well for us.
I missed the question, Tracy. Did you ask about the
Busy
capital plan approved? Or was it not approved by the Board of Finance?
what? I'm sorry.
I missed your question, Tracy.
The question was, do we need to have
I do.
minimum?
Yes, I do. I do recall
you.
you saying that.
No, not saying that, but
That was the
we have,
standard.
we came up with this in the
Yep.
past.
That's fine. And I think we did push a few back to the
It's a line item.
wherever they belong. Yep.
It was a question for the Board of Finance as a matter of housekeeping
Oh, okay.
of anything under 10,000, we kept off of capital. Push back to line items.
So basically, my question is, when was the capital approved by the Board of Selectmen?
At the Board of Selectmen's meeting.
When?
I don't know the exact date, but I can find it for you.
Well,
Because it
that
was
would
part
be
of, it's
nice.
part of the budget.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we could find it because I don't believe it's anything that we've been made aware of.
It was presented to you after it was approved by the Board of Selectmen.
So this is the part that's proposed. So my understanding is the Board of Selectmen put this list together to propose as a proposed, right? You guys signed off on the proposed.
Well, what we do for the capital budget is myself and 3 department heads get together, Rob, Kyle, and Rick, and go over the entire capital non-recurring project list. And we narrow it down to what we have here to present to the Board of Finance.
Yeah, there's a lot,
Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance.
right? There's a lot more items that are not being funded.
Yeah,
Well, there's a,
because
Yeah, and
we
I
were
thi-
over 1 million, I think, on stuff that we had.
one of the reasons that Tracy brought up the $10,000 limit is because if it's not in like under general, we really can't see it, track it year to year on our actual expenditures. So I think we were talking about if it's listed under its own line where it's supposed to be, if it's under 10 grand, then we can kind of look back 3 years and see where it was. So it's not something that's just chucked in there year after year after year without us being able to put eyes on it. We made a lot of sense back then.
And we also had, it got to the point where we did have a lot of smaller things and it was like
Yep.
kind of junky instead of what capital needs what should be.
So this is the full list that you guys review, right? Or, yeah. Got what we're just saying.
Okay. So this year is 614,500. Next year is 825.
Five. Well, you got
And
to
the following
subtract
year.
170 out of the 1614,500.
Well, we can't because we're,
Because that was unassigned.
Capital signed into it.
Yeah, a lot of that has
well,
to
it
do
takes
with,
out of capital.
there's some
So
roads we gotta
I'm not
start
talking about,
for, and there's other projects we gotta start saving up for.
but I'm talking about funding.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave for just a minute, guys.
What time?
okay, yeah, you know, as,
So
if we
funding.
looked at this as a committee and you look at next year, yeah, it looks heavy at the bottom, but when we get there next year, we're gonna have to look at those numbers again and probably have to spread it out further, you know, like John White Road Bridge may have to go out further.
Exactly.
A backhoe may have to go out a little bit further as well. I mean, so we work on it, we give a 10 to 15 year list. But every year we're gonna revisit everything and
Yeah.
readjust.
Okay, now Kyle just said,
We do.
well, it shouldn't be. I mean, you just said, and this, it's my intention, because this is what we're supposed to be working on. You're talking about roads. That goes back to the study and goes back to what we've attempted to do.
Mhm.
And that we were working on at one point in time and then sort of dropped that. Like roads that are gonna come up.
Mm.
Is there any way to kind of get that list of,
Yeah.
This is
Actually
what we're
brought it to the
looking at.
table when we were doing this.
There's a few.
I had a plan together, like a 10-year plan that I put together. But some of what's on the list, like Looking Glass, Reclaim and Pave, that may be part of this grant that we applied for the trip grant.
but that's
So-
okay. Because I think we've sort of lost that sight of having that list and saying, well, because at one point in time, I don't know, it was 2-3 million,
It was
4-5
insane.
million.
I mean, I could tell you that
We
we're-
talked about bonding, but if you get grants along the way, I think just having that instead of, oh, here's a new year.
Well, if you
here's
look
that
at the
capital.
full list, you can see there's Benton Road, Looking Glass, Stoddard are all there right now.
Right.
I'm sure we're gonna be adding as we go along.
Yeah, and
Such a work in progress, this entire 15.
Well, I'm not saying that isn't. I'm just saying if you have that,
absolutely.
that would be helpful for
Yeah,
us to have in
sure.
our, just to have.
And we do a really good job with
To be aware
maintaining,
of it.
we're doing a really good job maintaining.
So there's
So a lot of what we're
Right.
doing is
Stoddard, right?
we're taking care of these problems
Benton.
before they become a major issue.
Yeah, as long as
Another one?
we're not kicking the can down the road without putting money aside.
Is that it? The three
Exactly.
roads? Does
Right
that
now,
cover the
and
3 roads
You
in the
can
list?
see the funding going out into 28, 29 for some of the road projects.
Yeah,
But is that,
right.
are those 3 roads
Exactly.
all that's on your list?
Yeah, those are in the 15-year plan. Yeah,
Well, you
That's
got the John White Bridge, that's up higher.
right.
Well, that's in play now.
Yeah,
Well,
but those
it
three
jumps up
roads
a
are
lot.
what,
It jumps up a lot next year if we double, we're looking to
Right.
double the fundings, because if you have to get
Okay.
it done in 5 years, you have to start funding it higher.
Which then I go back to we're gonna have to get creative on some funding. Right? Board?
Yeah, all the time. It's not gonna change. So
Applying for grants.
that's the thing.
part of John White was what we were gonna apply for that state and local bridge.
Yep.
I don't think that went out yet.
So do we have, I know it's a silly question, but do we have somebody that is the maestro at writing grants? Is it you?
Yep.
You're it? Because some places have people that do nothing but write
Grant
grants.
writers.
And they're professionals at it and they usually get what they ask for, a
Mhm.
little more than the layman. So I'm not saying that, I'm saying you're kicking butt at it, but
Do we have a grant writer?
do we have a grant writer? Or
No.
do we have the ability to send somebody in our administration that would, to,
We
I
utilize.
think the engineering firm hires a grant writer.
We also utilize CCM, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. They assist us in grant writing
okay,
and obtaining grants.
Mhm.
So we utilize their services.
awesome.
Was it Ghost Grant Writer?
But they can locate ones that fit for small rural municipalities, because a lot of stuff we're not eligible for.
Right.
Like my bike path.
And so we use them. Help us with the grants.
Done.
Hannah Hayes' office helps us with
Bike path.
grants. So whoever we can help. them.
Mhm.
Start weed whacking and make yourself a bike path.
Dirt
Board of
bike
Finance.
path.
It's in place. You got
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Hell, yeah.
Anything else for Kyle?
No,
Thank you.
1 year in, right?
When you're in, yeah,
Sweet.
2 years.
Is it 2?
Might be 2.
Oh, yeah, you were here last year.
Well, you were here last year.
Yeah, you were still.
Does.
Can't wait till next year.
Oh, yeah. right. See what happens then. Okay, you guys are all set
Thank
with
you.
me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks, thank you.
have a good night.
Good job.
Yep.
Let me know if you see Adele pop back up so I can put it in the minutes, but.
Her phone's there, so she looks like she's live in.
Yeah,
Michelle, are you there?
No,
she said she was
down to let the dog out.
punched out for a little bit.
So. Okay, just
Derek March.
I'm sorry?
What's Derek March?
no idea.
That would be community,
Huh?
Member of the.
member of the
public.
community.
Oh, okay.
So. We were comfortable with that. We have notes on the budget if we need them. We can go through an agenda. Please, I'm tired.
Yeah, so those were the folks we wanted to bring in. I don't have my notes of who else we wanted to bring in, but we want to bring in the transfer station. Tracy, did you say we wanted to bring in the transfer station?
I thought we did.
Okay,
What else? Who else?
thought I had that copy. And who else that we wanted to bring in? You have that from last week,
Hunter?
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 I'm looking over my notes. I don't think.
I gave my copy to you last week.
I actually think that if we,
I've lost it. Oh. My bad.
yeah, I think we covered everybody here. I just remember. I was just looking through my notes on the high raise,
What?
on the ones that had big increases that were big monetary increases.
Come on, baby.
Saw that.
Tell you back?
How's back?
Baby.
No, I didn't. I'm talking to my dog.
I know, but you're back on, right?
Yes, I
I
am.
thought you were talking to him. That was really
No.
cute moment for a minute.
All right, so we
I'm
don't
trying to
need.
take the harness off him.
I'm not going.
All right.
Hunter, you're in my harness.
Just trying to
That's
figure
all I
out who
can
else
say.
we need to invite in, if anybody.
So I think the only,
Think through,
you know what, all the other ones, the big increases were mostly salary
right?
on the. Good, and having the selectmen here, there's a ton of questions on departments that we really don't need to bring in. Who was it you mentioned bringing in just recently?
Transfer.
Transfers.
Transfer station?
Yep.
Is that it?
What
I
about,
think so.
was Beach and Rec brought in?
Last
Yes.
week, or last
Week.
meeting, whatever.
Well, it wasn't last week, it was the week.
Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, transfer station was the only one that had a 4.1% decrease.
No, big budget though.
Yeah, I don't want to just bring someone in
Nope,
just to bring them in.
no, in senior center.
They're big budget, but
No, I actually,
you're running the show.
No, I know, but I don't want to like brought in Rob and we really didn't have too much.
so
So if we have specific questions or concerns, I'll bring somebody in.
Well, one of the benefits of having the selectmen build the proposal for us too, is they answer a lot of the questions because they're asking the department heads on the smaller ones. So, I mean, his resources.
Do you
it's a
feel
big deal.
comfortable with the transfer station budget with the notes and whatever that if you got up in a public hearing, you could answer the public questions? Well, you bring them in.
Yeah.
basically.
Any questions though, specifically like concerns?
Well, that's my
If you look
point.
at it.
Can I tell you, so yeah, maybe
Okay.
the questions, maybe we could just have an answer about the staffing, because that's always been a big public question.
What
would you
They're
like
gonna
to
be
know?
open Sunday.
Yeah.
What would you like to know?
know?
Exactly. So, and they decreased their budget by 4.
We can ask about staffing right here, right now.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We should be okay. Because they're not asking for any increases.
The only unknown really for is the recycling, and that's up to the state because they are working on possible $1.50 increase to up to $5 increase a ton for anything that's getting shipped out of state. So we're kind of waiting on, hopefully the bill died that where it's going to go up to $5 a ton. But it's still probably go up $1.50 a ton if it gets shipped out of state.
Well,
That's really the only unknown at the recycling center, transfer station.
All right, I can bring that up if you guys want to look at it real quick.
so they decreased their budget by $10,000 this year, plus or minus. So even if it does go up,
Yeah, we're hoping.
Yeah.
There's enough to take it.
So there's a $10,000 decrease in salaries. There's a $1,100 decrease in part-time salaries. So $473 decrease in propane. Few increases, gas. The other one is the
11.
transferred. This one, Tom? Where?
Hazardous waste day.
Oh, right.
We're gonna look to work on that on our own to reduce the number of people going to the hazardous waste day. Because it costs a lot of money per carload.
But the reality is it's almost $12,000 less. Decrease.
Hey, I'm not John Q. Public.
Yeah,
I'm asking you, when you get up in front of them, if you feel comfortable, which is one of the reasons why we have them in.
yeah,
That's a Kip question.
I'm fine, unless you guys had a specific question. I'm hearing none. Okay. So what I'd like to do is just kind of go through some other line items and then next time we meet, start going through each one of these so we can say yes, no, yes, no.
Kip,
Yeah,
I just have something to say.
sure.
That the last meeting we had was upsetting, and I'm sorry that I got so back and forth on stuff. I'm not very well, and so I don't speak the way I usually speak. So I'm going to try to make this short.
Okay,
Today in the newspaper, it finally said that the Board of Selectmen of the town of Morris put together the budget and is now handing it over to the Board of Finance. And kind of, I'm saying the opposite of what Hunter was just saying. This doesn't make it the town's Board of Finance. This makes the selectmen putting together with the employees a budget. So when things go through, like we're going to have snobby music at the Beach and Rec. So we're up to $8,000, and people have the highest electricity in the country. Eggs are going up 44%, and we're going to have $8,000 worth of concerts. I know that's a little one, but our taxes are going up, and we have a tax assessor who sent out these new bills for anywhere between, well, what I've heard, 17 to 48% increase in our taxes. And
No.
Well, so Carrie,
I
don't
just,
think our-
I just
I
want
don't
to,
wanna-
okay, so I'll just finish by saying that this is a total waste of time. Our services are going down. The tax assessor, for example, who gets health insurance, is only in from 11 to 4 PM. If people work, they can't go and see her. She's there once a week. The dump used to be open on Sundays. It's now closed on Sundays.
Mhm.
And anybody who works can't go to the dump. This is what, as taxpayers,
That's
we're
3 weeks.
paying for. So the pension, the pension money.
Hmm.
We were told by the auditor that the fire department, the old fire department, was completely paid for.
Yeah.
And that's why we could go and start this new one. Well, no, that's not the case. And now we have the new one, and then we also find out that the first selectman is getting a pension. Let's see, what else?
The first selectman to get a pension.
And let's see, a pension. Okay, so we were told, and Rob is right, why yell at him? But right at the end of the last budget, we were told by the first selectman, we emergency needed to buy a generator for the fire department
Yeah,
because we needed an emergency place, and that is something we're supposed to have. I'm not going to get into what happened, but we bought it for them, and people were not able to go to the firehouse during the 3 days that things were closed. Now, we also had put money aside for a generator, which was, I thought was going into the school, that was
Yeah.
going to be the emergency place. So now we haven't bought that. And now we have another old generator that costs even more that we have to replace in this senior house. And then the thing that I really want to apologize for is that I went so wishy-washy last time when we talked about East Shore Road.
Mhm.
I promise you, I will never, I am not voting yes again until we paid $10,000 for a project that no one seems to use. We had $150,000 put away for a fire truck. It disappeared. And so being on the Board of Finance, that should be our responsibility, but it can't be because we don't know where the money is.
That's because the first selectman takes control of everything.
Guys. So first of all, Carrie, you threw out a whole bunch of stuff there. I don't know if you want me to go through line item by line item. Happy to talk to you about it. I think a lot of that is probably I don't know. Misinformed. I don't even know where to begin, but honestly.
Okay, the tax assessor is in her office in the evening? Ever? No.
Tell her to put it in writing.
So Carrie, why don't you do me a favor? Could you write up your concerns so we can address them
As a group.
as a group?
Yep.
Because I can't just keep up with you. There's so many items there.
Mhm. I'll try.
Okay.
You do it, Carrie.
Well, you either do it or you don't. You're making accusation after accusation after
You know,
accusation.
Phil, she can do.
Now, lady,
And
just.
you are
I
nothing
listen
but
to you.
guys.
Listen to me.
Son.
Excuse me,
Write it
Phil,
down or
Phil.
forget it.
Phil, I'm
Phil, shut the hell up.
I'm going to embarrass you now, but
Yeah.
I just found out I'm dying. So
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
Carrie,
know.
I'm
I
sorry to
do
hear
not
that.
know. Shush, just 1 second. I did not want to bring this up, but I can promise you that I will. But I really want to, because I'm not attacking anybody here.
I know, but you're
just
asking,
want-
Carrie, I appreciate your health and I feel bad for
No,
you.
don't forget about the health. No, I just for that one thing, but everything else, forget about it. Forget it.
Okay, well, I want to address your concerns, but I can't do it if you just keep going over, on this one and that one. You throw out a whole bunch of stuff that I can't even begin to address.
Okay.
So I'm happy to address it if you want to write it down, and we go over each item. But you can't just throw out a whole bunch of stuff and half of it's not even accurate.
Well,
If
you
Like-
don't
like
know
what?
that yet. You don't.
This
know.
is supposed to be a team
Like,
effort,
if-
and I don't think we're like butting heads on purpose.
Purpose.
If you've got concerns, literally write them down and we'll discuss them. I swear to God, I'll spend time. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
I'm not getting paid to be here. I have no ulterior motive. I don't think anybody does. If they do, we're a board. We each have a vote. You have a vote, I have a vote, he has a vote. That's what we're on for. We all have a vote. If you don't like
But
something,
we
don't
don't
vote
need
for it.
Bill to intervene and tell her to shut up, basically, and that's what he told her to do.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I
No,
will,
not-
I will
no,
write
It's
something
not
up.
fine. All I was trying to do is if you I can't, you went on and I understand that you're frustrated and you're trying to, that's fine. But I can't address a bunch of different items when you just kind of rambled on like that. So to Hunter's point, we want to have a concern. We can go over them. We got to go over them one at a time. Is that fair, Carrie?
Mhm.
Okay. So if we want to address them, write them down, we can address them next meeting. That's totally fine. If you want to send them to me prior, so we can prioritize them, happy to do that as well.
Okay, thanks.
Did you go to the mill? Help.
Sure.
So did we decide to not call any additional department heads just for the notes?
I think Kip decided he didn't want to try.
Unless you guys have a need to call in anybody else. I don't have a need.
Carrie, Adele, do you want to bring anybody in?
We
No,
haven't-
I
Okay.
make a motion that we close this meeting.
Well, we can't close it quite yet.
No, we don't need a motion.
We have a couple items that we need to,
Oh, that tax collector.
tax collector item. So
Can I just
Yes.
take a minute on the budget?
you
Is
certainly
that
can.
okay?
Yes,
Thank you. Just going into it now, I guess we're gonna start looking at numbers.
correct.
As it is right now. You're looking at a 19.36 mill rate
Correct.
based on the grand list. Have you done the math to know what would be flat tax mill rate calculation?
Well,
Because 4.63 looks like a reduction is not.
it is.
Well, it's not. Not in your
Well,
actual taxes,
Flat,
based
flat
on how you
tax,
calculate it.
flat tax rate would be you need to take out 486,284. If you look at column E,
Right.
line 16. What the taxpayers paid last year was
Yeah.
366,635. If you go up two more, go up two.
I got
Right
that.
there?
Thank you.
So,
Right here?
Yeah, I understand.
no, go up and over to the left one.
Oh, yeah, this.
Yeah, so that's the money. Again, last year you guys used a lot of fund balance, $476,000.
Mhm.
Right.
They would have paid if we didn't use fund balance, they would have paid the 8852.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the number. If you want to keep the taxes to the townspeople flat,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you would do. But I will also say you have $282,000 of school going up. And to say that
We're getting money back on the school, right?
you're getting
$175,000.
$175,000 back next year, which I
No,
put in the budget. It's in the budget right now.
It's in the budget right now. Okay, I mean, I got that. But again, we have to convince the population to pass this budget, do we not?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm saying is just as an awareness. Right now, that's what we are actually raising your tax when you write that check. That's what it's gonna be higher. Even though the mill rate's down.
Yes, understood. I got it. Yeah.
Your tax check is gonna be higher,
Correct.
so.
Yeah,
Just,
but
did you
but
know the
Anna-
target? What, Rick? I'm sorry.
you really can't. You can't keep it like that anyway, because you have too much money in fund balance.
We have to transfer money over from fund
Yeah, I mean,
balance
you would,
regardless.
you wouldn't be following your own policies if you don't lower fund balance.
I got that. I'm just.
No, but I'm just
so
saying,
what
but
we
we're talking
doing-
hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm not talking hypothetical. I'm saying what we're looking at right now. Right? And correct me if I'm looking at something different. No, we haven't gone through the budget. We have not looked at fund balance. We haven't gone through and put money down. I'm just saying from this starting point, looking at it. What the numbers are and discussing with the board, do we want to think where we want to end up and start
Yeah, I
working
mean-
towards that?
Yes.
That's my question. It's not about how to get there or whatever. It's just as a board,
Yes. So I'm
are we
in-
looking at that and do we know what our target mill rate would look like?
so Rick, do you know, because I don't off the top of my head, to keep, well, you gotta put 408. I mean.
Yeah, so if you
Why
go
not
to the
put
fund
70?
balance page, if you go to the
76.9.
fund balance tab down below,
476.
no, if you go down,
Oh, he wants to go to the fund balance, go to the fund balance
if
page.
you go to fund balance sheet, now again, I think, and it's just my opinion, since I don't have a vote, I don't, so if you look here, your fund balance is at 17.27.
Yeah,
Last year, we dropped it all the way down to 12.0.
yeah.
I mean, again, that was to get to 23.99. So I think if you go to the other page, you could drop in that total amount of 486.
Yeah.
And it will be zero. The problem is, so if you write, so type that right in there.
Oops. Why is that?
Because it's a calculation.
I just copied it. 284.
And I'll go back to the fund balance page. Put that same number in there. I think we screwed up a calculation. Put that 486, put $486,000 there.
400?
No, up a little bit higher with this, put negative $486,000.
486.
Yeah, just put $1,000. So that would bring fund balance to 12.5, 12.1.
I'll go back to
Go
the mill
back.
calc.
If you go back to the mill rate,
So that's 5 point.
so if you go to you just change that 486 to just a flat $486,000. So we're dealing with the same number. The mill rate would be 18.3 to be flat to last year. Now, again, that's not gonna be flat to everybody. That's gonna be flat to
Flat.
the dollar
No,
amount.
but it's a darn good argument of not raising the budget, not raising
Well, and
taxes.
there's
Well-
some people that are gonna benefit from this because their assessments weren't quite as high.
There's 150 of us that aren't, that you're gonna worry about.
Yeah.
The only
Mine's a
issue
48%
is,
assessment hike.
the only issue is school went up $286,000. And to just make that flat to everybody, you're not always gonna have this $486,000.
Right, that's
So
the,
they-
that's
they
the
should-
discussion that needs
I
to
mean, I would
happen.
think the town should eat some of the expense in the education
luck with
and
that.
use more money for the projects you know that you guys have to get done coming up.
Hmm.
You know, you're
Well-
probably better off moving some of this money, this $486,000, say
And
200,000
raise taxes.
into unassigned and knock that down to 286. So you're eating some of the education problem, but you're not eating it all.
I don't think the-
You understand? what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I mean, having been to a couple of these hearings, they tend to, I mean, education is always the argument. You know, they'll miss
And is that-
they'll miss the vote.
Yeah, we are having-
thing, And then they'll say,
And is that a solid number? Or is that is that their proposal?
Pretty close. He'll be on April 4th.
So really, we can't stress over it until we know.
But, you know,
They're gonna
like
go,
to
right?
Rick's point, I'm sorry. To Rick's point, you know, and to Tracy's point, we looked at the capital plan moving forward.
Next year,
Are gonna need to be funded, so you're gonna need money for that as well. And some balance there, I get, you don't want to raise taxes for people.
I want to get the budget passed.
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Not know that.
actually, budgets do pass with raises and all. Imagine that. And,
Um,
It does happen.
So can I ask, are we gonna have, hey, Rick, were
Yeah.
you here? I don't think you were here. We had the ability for people to come in and talk to the tax assessor. To find out what they would be paying before we propose the budget to the town. So that they could get some semblance of sanity and know what they were gonna pay under that proposed mill rate that we
They've
throw.
already posted the mill calculation, so everybody could go in
Yeah, but-
and know exactly what it is based on the mill rate.
Okay.
And they really did.
Way to do it.
But we
And
did
that's
have,
what-
didn't we have
if
somebody
they
here
posted it.
though, doing it for them, hand jamming the numbers for
I
them?
don't think our
Oh, we
assessor
put
did
the-
that.
Oh, I thought.
I don't know. We can, I mean, the formula is simple enough and it was actually posted.
Yeah.
Because people got, and you know, again, the assessments are net. Well, the assessments are the assessments, so some people are higher and of course. Not even looking at the budget, the knee jerk reaction was, oh my God, our taxes are going up.
Well, considering the departments constitute 17% of the budget, we can affect as a group.
Have
We're not
you
gonna
been to
cut.
public hearings?
We can't affect.
Have you been to public hearings?
Many.
Hunter,
Many.
they don't care.
I know.
It's just. It's getting your head, because it's not as simple as. Well, the mill rate goes up or down because we have the reassessment in there. It's just a matter of.
I know.
Everybody just take that a minute and let it sink in, because you do have all these factors and that capital factors into it. You know, these are all the things you have to think about going forward, which is why. You know, with capital. Get your head around it, because that's raising you know.
Yeah.
You gotta
Scott, what you're,
balance that.
So there's a balance
That's it.
between the school budget, in fact, going up.
we made really good decisions last year.
Here, some of the budgets actually went down. The town's overall budget went down a bit,
Under 19.
$119,000. You gotta take some of that, we do have to take some of that fund balance out because we're over our own guidelines.
Right.
And where do you apply it? Do you apply it to keep taxes level, even though the school budget went up? Do you split the difference, take some of it and plan for next year? Like we did last year?
Find a balance.
So that's what we
Do you remember,
like to.
were you here as a
So,
townsperson when we did the budget, and Scott Potbecker we gave a presentation, it was a PowerPoint, it was a basic, simple PowerPoint, charting it out, just kind of so everyone could get a real good
The PowerPoint
feeling of what we're doing. You did it as
I
well,
have a PowerPoint presentation.
I wasn't there, no.
I wasn't there.
and it made a big difference. I mean, I hate PowerPoint, but you know what? Sometimes it
I hate
works, and we
PowerPoint
shot it
because
up on the
was
wall.
Pretty good. You can go through, it. We've used that for a while. I think I might.
We can be
have one
smart about it.
somewhere.
We just have to educate the public what we're doing.
Well, that's why I just said you gotta know your budgets, because they're gonna hit you from.
Yeah.
You know, left field with things, and the school is always a matter of.
They vote down the
Yeah.
budget because the school budget went up. Even though the town
Yeah,
budget's.
they'll do it every time too.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I'd like to kind of continue this conversation and go through the numbers.
Do you wanna do what we have? You retired a while ago.
Mhm.
And I just made you sit here another 45 minutes. You wanna just get this going and then sit down fresh on it next week?
What was that?
Go ahead.
The abatement.
You're right. So we have a couple other items. Are we done here with this?
Yeah, I think we can go fresh at it next week and.
Sure. So we didn't get to it last week, but we had the monthly reports from February. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? I'm assuming yes, there was no questions posed to Rick, so I'll close that item. Unless anybody has any comments on those. New business, I have this letter from the tax collector, the Board of Finance that I need to sign off on non-collectible taxes.
Mhm.
So it's everyone, it was sent to everybody.
Mhm.
I'd like to make a
Yep.
motion for me to sign this.
Yep.
Can someone make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I gotta write it down, so.
Phil made a motion to sign the, what's it called?
Collection certification.
Collection certification list from the tax collector.
So Phil made the motion. I had a second. Hunter second. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carrie and
Staying.
Adele, you vote?
Yes, yes.
Adele gone.
Is Adele gone?
Maybe.
Ah, crap.
You'll have-
9:45 or 8:45.
Okay, so that's passed. I can sign that. Next item is any public comment? I think our public has left.
Got Benny there.
Vinny, do you have any comments or questions?
Then you fell asleep.
You're on mute if you do.
Unmute.
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Last item is vote to adjourn till next week. I make that motion. Bill
Yep.
seconds it. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It is 8:47. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
20:47.